Another Tips for Stitches talk. My name is Julie Hall, and today I'm going to introduce you to one of my favourite products, Mylar. Mylar is a plastic cellophane type of sheet with iridescent compounds. It is made up of about 27 different layers of different colours, and it absorbs and reflects the colours that we stitch to, giving our stitching a glittering look. As you can see here, I've used the Mylar on these beautiful butterflies to give the wings that glittery look. However, if I lay the same sheet of Mylar over a white background, it looks totally different and very pink, versus if I lay it over black, where it looks very much purples and greens. So it absorbs and reflects the colours that you stitch with. I've been using Mylar for the past 10 years and I think it's a fantastic product. It adds glitter and shimmer to even the most simple stitching projects. Some of the key questions that we get asked when we talk about Mylar is, first one, is it washable? Absolutely. Unlike cellophane, this will not disintegrate in the wash. And not only do I have it on my clothes or on my children's clothing and have it go through the wash, but I also put it through the dryer without any problems. About the only thing that I do special to it is I iron it from the wrong side of the embroidery project. The next question that we get asked is, do you need different colours for different effects? And once again, the answer is no. Because the Mylar absorbs and reflects the different colours as you stitch them, you only need the one colour. This makes it a nice, economical product to stitch with. Today I'm going to show you how I stitch with Mylar using one of these gorgeous butterfly designs. I'm going to stitch it, this time on white fabric, just to show something slightly different. To get my project ready for stitching, I've got my hoop and I've got my stabilizer in the hoop. Now, although this is a large design, for the size of the design there are not many stitches. So I'm going to cheat a little and do the lazy gal side of how to hoop my project. I like to use Embroiders felt. It gives just the slightest bit of padding to my design, which allows the stitches something to form over and gives a much sexier all over stitch out. I don't do this when I'm doing clothing, just when I'm doing quilting projects. So I'm going to lay over on top of the stabilizer my Embroiders felt, and the details on how you can purchase that are at the end of the blog. And I've got my white cotton block, which I've ironed. Now, lazy gal stitching, I am going to use the Magna pins to hold my project in the hoop. And you'll see I'm placing these pins outside of the stitching area. You really don't want to run these over. But with the flat backs of these gorgeous pins, they are enough to hold my project firmly in the hoop and just make it nice and easy. Naturally, I've underestimated and I'm going to need to go and get one more pin to get started. But you can see that is my project in the hoop and ready to stitch. So come and join me as we move over to the sewing machine. Okay, so we now have our fabric ready. Now I have tested to make sure that the design stays within the boundaries and will not hit on any of our magnets. That is a really important one to do. And I have lined up, and sorry, I've just got to take this back to my first stitch, I've lined up my threads in the order that I'm going to stitch them. Now, normally I would stitch these first two colours, or the first three colours, in the same colour as my background fabric. So that everybody can see it, I'm going to stitch it in purple. So, the first colour is just going to need to be rethreaded. Perfect. So the first colour here is going to stitch out and show us where to be placing our iridescent film or Mylar. I like to stitch on a nice steady speed. My favourite stitch is between 500 and 600 stitches per minute. What you don't want is enough stitching that your table is going to wobble, and you want to give the stitches time to form a beautiful stitch. Just because your car can do 220 kilometers an hour doesn't mean you should. Same goes with our machines. So here you can see our stitch down is all gorgeous and perfect. We are going to take our sheet of Mylar. We are going to lay it over the top of the design, and I get pretty stingy because I want to save as much as possible. I always save all of my scraps so that I can use them in the future. You just want to make sure that it doesn't pucker as it's stitching around because it is really flimsy. And we don't want it going too far off course. Once again, I'm never putting any pressure on the fabric itself because we don't want the design to be altered where the stitching is going. Okay, now I'm going to change threads, and now is when we stitch the Mylar down. I like to use a colour the same as my background colour, but you can go contrast if you wish. This is not going to be the final colour. This is just the open weave pattern that sits, that holds the Mylar to the fabric. Okay, so now that that stitching has been done, I can very easily just pull off the excess. There. Now, don't worry, anything that's going to get caught here, I'm going to use my gorgeous little thread snips, which are also available on our site, of course, in all the pretty different colours, and trim away one side so that I can pull away the other. So that is the Mylar popped down. Now I'm going to come through, complete the rest of the stitching, and I'll come back and show you what the finished project looks like. Okay, so now the stitching is finished and I can remove the hoop from the machine. what I'm hoping you are going to see is the beautiful shimmery colour that shines up from the design as it catches the light. So, now I'm finished. I've got my block here done in white, and I can hold it up and show it directly over, and you can see that it still has the same elements on the black, but it's a much more subtle approach to the Mylar. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you have all been inspired by Mylar and what it can do for you, and that you'll have a go playing with this remarkable product. Until next time, my name's Julie Hall. Have a stitching day. Bye.